So how to design mat option? Mat option. And this option should repeat for every country. You know how to do it. It should repeat for every country. How we can do that? We can use ng for let. So item of collection is countries. Am I right? That means this option is repeating for every country. Option is repeating for every country. What I will do here is, in this I will put a span. This is the first span. In this span I will add an image, img src. This image, you can use src attribute also, or you can use src property binding also. You can use anything. Src, it is coming from which location? Item dot flag that contains the path for image. Am I right? It's the path for image. We are keeping that here. Next, I will keep another span. In that span, I will keep the country name, that is item dot name. The country name is printed. So after that, I will use another span, and here I will define the calling code. Item dot calling code. Are you clear with this logic? Are you clear with this logic, everyone? Right. So what I have done here, I created a collection and I am generating an item for a option for every item inside that collection. And I am printing 3 details in the option. What are those 3 details? The photo, the name, and the calling code. Am I right? Right. So that means we are defining that. Right. You can't ask the difference between span and div here, Mr. Because whoever this is, because this is not HTML class. Okay. Right. Now see here. Now I need to do one more work here. Whatever the value user selects inside this option, so that value should be assigned to this option. Option will have a value. Value is item dot name. That means which value user has selected, which option user has selected, its value will be stored here, and that will be stored in the references. Understood? That means the value of this option, every option should have a value. The country name will be used as value. Hope you are clear. The country name will be used as value. Am I right? The country name is used as value. Okay, good. Now our autocomplete is ready. We need to attach this autocomplete to whom? We need to attach this autocomplete. This autocomplete should work. On which situation it should work? This autocomplete should work on which situation it should work? In which situation autocomplete should work? Tell me. Autocomplete is ready. On which situation it has to work? When user is typing something inside the text box. Am I right? Am I right? When user is keying in the characters in the text box. That means we need to attach this autocomplete to text box. Am I right? I need to attach this to the text box, input box, right? I need to attach this to the input box. Let's attach to the input box. Okay, good. We will attach to that input box. So let's go to our input box. This is input. In this input, we have to attach. What you need to attach? So I need to attach mat autocomplete. Mat autocomplete is an attribute. It will take autocomplete data. Mat autocomplete is an attribute which it is a property which takes the autocomplete data. Autocomplete data is coming from which location? It is coming from countries list autocomplete. Am I right? Understood? Understood this point? Understood this point? That means data is coming from countries list, not countries. Countries is an array. Countries list is the ID of whom? Countries list is the ID of whom? Countries list is the ID of whom? Countries list is the ID of Mat autocomplete. Understood? Logical name of mat autocomplete, not option. Understood? It is an ID of mat autocomplete. Am I right? Yeah, it is an ID of mat autocomplete. We are configuring that here. Understood the point? Right. So that is the ID. We are attaching this now. That means it is attached. So let's go into the design now. I refresh this here. It is already there. I click inside and you can see both are there. Have you observed? Right, I click inside, I start typing something inside it. I'm typing here United Kingdom, so that means United Kingdom. So I can choose that option here, I can define that option there. Understood? Right, that means the autocomplete is defined here. I am configuring the autocomplete and defining that autocomplete here. So that means I'm typing here, you can see it will allow the options, height, width, and all these you can change. For that you need to add some styles actually. If you add some styles and you add some CSS, then it will get that option and display that option, right? If you are doing that, it will get that and display. Means height, width, all these you need to change according to your requirement, right? The font effects, you need to define that options, right? So that is how we need to configure, right? That means you have to add CSS. If you add CSS, you can make this presentation more better, right? So that means the options I already told you, right? When I click outside, the options are disappeared now. When I selected, options are appeared, disappeared. Why options are not disappeared? You are still in the control now. Are you observing this? Huh? Right. Yes, it is not yet complete now. I just given you an approach. It is not yet complete now. I just given you one level pointer. Okay. Right. Right. That is what important is. That means I already told you, right? We need to add all the CSS and effects for that in order to implement this. Right. Right. So generally you can write a logic for hiding the placeholders and all. See, so many questions will come. So this is just to make you understand about how to handle them, right? So many questions will come. So I want right side, I want left side, I want upside, I want downside, right? That means you have to define, right? You will see that why you are in a hurry, right? That means I told you that this is a basic point how we can get that. Understood? Huh? You people are very much concerned about all other problems rather than concentrating on what is working. Understood? Because we just done only one point. Have we written any additional effects? Huh? Have we written any additional effects? Huh? Then how you are expecting this is not working, that is not working, right? So you have to write the additional effects. So based on that, it has to get and access and use everything according to that. For that, we need some CSS also to handle. We need some CSS also to handle how we can present, how we can configure, right? So it is not just like you added one attribute and it starts working. I hope many of you know about that. Just adding will not make everything according to your requirement. It needs a lot of options to be configured. Am I right? Huh? We need a lot of options to define. Am I right? Right. So that means we need to add several attributes, effects, right? For example, if I add effects here, that means home.css, home.component.css. We need some CSS for making the presentation more effective for this particular elements. So when you are designing, for example, we have example form. We are designing some effects. So for every component, we need some effects. For every component, we need some effects. We have to define those effects, right? So I'm configuring the effects. Like suppose I said min width is 150 pixel. Min width is 150 pixel. Then max width is 500 pixel. So you know general CSS, right? Width is 100%. That is